Americans are racking up more and more credit card debt. $930 billion in the third quarter this year, according to the New York Federal Reserve.
And don't forget, Americans' motivation to spend is always strong. But what we've seen this year, obviously in the data, is an incredible push into credit card debt. Despite claims that there's all these excess savings, the spending patterns in terms of credit cards vis-a-vis anything else indicates that a lot of Americans are under stress.
This all comes as record inflation has eaten into consumer savings, and more consumers are putting costs on their credit cards. Overall personal savings, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, have fallen from $4.8 trillion in the second quarter of 2021 all the way down to just $507 billion in the third quarter of 2022. Personal savings as a percentage of disposable income has never been as low as it was in October 2022. Dating all the way back to 1959. Even personal interest payments are at levels never seen before. That didn't stop U.S. consumers, though. They spent a record amount on Black Friday this year.
But what we've seen is credit card balances have actually increased by about 14%. Your credit score on our platform generally has decreased by about 8 points, which means there's some financial hardship.
So how does this all end?
We can be more confident that we're not going to see, say, a housing crisis or a series of defaults as we saw during the great financial crisis, just because consumers are in a better position.
Americans started this cycle's downturn with several policy responses to the pandemic, which brought savings way up and helped spawn inflation. Now, the Federal Reserve's attempt to curb historic inflation is directly affecting consumers' credit card APR, or the interest rate paid on remaining monthly balances. The Federal Reserve curbs inflation by setting the federal funds rate, and the prime rate is what most credit card companies use for APR. This prime rate fluctuates when the Fed changes the federal funds rate.